Hey guys, what's up and welcome to the part 2 of the Y-Wing build. Now this video will consist of me building the Y-Wing and painting it. As you can already tell, I already had the main body and the cockpit portion built. You're probably wondering, well, what the hell, man? So I actually had some corrupted SD cards. I lost my files for the that part of the build, but we have to continue on, right? So I'm pretty much done with the main body. It was pretty easy to put together, pretty straightforward. There were 4 smaller pieces, I believe, or a handful of them that just hook into the side. Yep, and we are done with the body, as I'm pointing out there. So we are going onto the thrusters. I guess that's what you want to call them, the engines, the thrusters. And this is what's pretty much left. And there are a few pointers that I'm going to point out here during the build because there was some frustration in this video. As I'm going along building this, you're gonna see the positives and the negatives. I'm not gonna hide it. You'll see my hand slam on the desk when I get frustrated. Now, at this point, I would like to point out that these pieces, you want to make sure that they are in the correct spot. If you look at the part where they snap fit, each one is different. I didn't learn this until halfway through. Just double check it, avoid the frustration. It was frustrating. Same goes for both pieces. And later on down the road, it does matter. And it's... Bandai is very particular with their detail, especially when it comes to their Star Wars kits. And they are very proud of that, and it looks great. So something to take note here, the little thruster end pieces, they do need to be glued. They do not snap fit very well together. So this is something that you'll definitely have to watch out for. It does get very frustrating when you're trying to put it together and the pieces keep popping out. So go ahead and just, if you have some thin super glue, just put a little bit of a drop right between the section where it crosses, and it will hold it in there, and you can paint over it. You won't even notice it's there. And also, so this is the part where I'm actually putting those rods on that go to the actual thrusters. Now when you put that part into, you want to put a little bit of dust. There's not much that holds that part together, and it won't hurt it, and you can easily put it onto the main fuselage flawlessly later on down the road. Alright, so now we're finally getting into some painting. I'm actually going to go ahead and paint the back portion of the Y-wing here. I've already primed the part in Vallejo Gray. It's the same color as the actual molded plastic. What I actually do to get that darker gray color that I want the fuselage, I mix like a couple of drops of Vallejo black with the Vallejo primer. So that darkens it down a little bit, and it gets it down to that nice, I guess you would say, Star Wars gray. And later on, I do go back and weather this with some just black sprays, like light sprays with my airbrush to give it more of that weathered look, because all throughout it, if you look at it, it's weathered and shadowed. Alright, it is that time to paint the body. So first we're going to primer it. This is going to lay down a nice layer of paint so paint can actually stick to it a lot better, and with primer you use less paint. So I'm going to be using Vallejo Gray primer, and then later on I'm going to be mixing a bunch of different grays because I could not get it right the first couple of times to get this body the gray that I want it to be. As you'll see, the first gray that I laid down came out way too blue, and it was a disappointment, so I had to go back over it. And I actually got into the paneling with my Iwata Eclipse, and I slowly just started to shadow and lay down some black for the shadowing down inside, like the paneling where there's deep crevices, to give it more of that dimensional look. Yeah, there's just this whole back portion is very tedious to paint. So at this point, I am go ahead and putting primer down onto the cockpit portion and the pods. Now, here's the catch. I'm not going to paint this part any other color. The gray that the Vallejo primer, it is actually a really good color for the color that I want for the Y-wing. Now, I will go ahead and after I prime this, I will go ahead and prime the yellow pieces. I am going to lay down some Tamiya yellow paint on that, just so I have that non-plastic surface, so I can weather it and make it look so I can blend it all together with the with the texture and the paint. That's kind of what I'm going for. And unfortunately, while I'm sitting here editing this video, it looks like I lost the video clip of painting the main body to the Y-wing. Right now I do have new SD cards, so this issue should not be happening again in the future. But as always, we always have to keep moving, right? Alright, here is what I have so far. Again, I'm disappointed that my SD card corrupted. So anyways, here's what I got so far. Yeah, it completely missed everything. I went ahead and did some rusting weathering on the main body, where the rusted pipes will lay down. And also, as you can see, I did my shadowing within the crevices of the body. I did the weathering on the cockpit and put blaster marks, etc, etc. I really wish my SD card did not fail, because that would have been awesome to show you. And then also, you notice on the thrusters I put a little bit of black around there, like it's actually been in use. As of now, we're moving on to the piping. Alright, so here I'm actually going to put down, well, I'm actually going to be touching it up, but I'm going to be putting down a rust texture paint. This is the Mecha line that Vallejo makes. Now I'm going to be putting this down on the pipe, and the key for this is you do not want to be consistent. You do not want to have an even coat. Leave your undercoat, like your brighter color, exposed a little bit, because later on we'll use a Vallejo Mecha rust wash. Is actually more orange, so when it lays over that rust texture, it really shows the different layers of rust. Just like real life, when the metal starts to oxidize, you have different layers of progression. So this is kind of what we're simulating with the paint right here. And after we're finished with that, I'm just going to be mixing some basic grays, and I'll be painting over all the pipes around the Y-wing to blend them all in, and I may mix it up with some darker grays as well. Alright, so now we're going to install the cockpit, and a little bit of a note here. The top yellow detail portion, do not install this yet, or you'll have to be like me and carefully pry it out of the body. Yeah, don't do that yet. Just keep it off to the side. Don't put it on there like me. Yes, learn from my mistakes. Because as you see, the cockpit actually goes down, and there's like these little ledge, or I don't know what to call them, but they're these little pieces that stay on the side that sit in like a little cradle, and then when you put down the yellow piece, it holds it in there. Alright, so I am finished with the build, and please enjoy these high quality photos that I took for you guys, and right after we're done with the photos, I will go over my final thoughts on the model. Alright, so my final thoughts on this model. It's a great model. I had a lot of fun with it. The piping, it's pretty, I could see it being pretty hard for someone who's new at modeling. Yes, this is a snap kit model, and you know, it is more focused on, I guess, entry grade. Even though Bandai makes some of the best snap kits out there, don't get me wrong. But just because of the piping and how meticulous it can be, I'm going to rate this model kit as intermediate. If you're new at modeling, I would practice with some other models first before going in with this and accidentally breaking apart and then not really knowing how to glue it back together. It can be pretty bad if you mess it up. It's all up to you. If you feel confident, go for it. I really had fun with this project. This kit was very awesome. I give this kit an 8 out of 10. I wish some parts went together more easy. Part of that might have to be with me being a noob. End result, I really enjoy this kit, and I can't wait to start my next one. The next one that I want to purchase in the Star Wars line is the A-Wing. I love the look of that starfighter, and I think it's going to be a ton of fun to put together. So I can't wait. So I hope you guys like this video, and again, I do apologize for my SD cards corrupting and missing out on some awesome painting and weathering. I lost the video clips where I was weathering the droid. I lost the video clip where I built the gun turret and painted the cockpit and the main body. So yes, future videos, you're not going to have to worry about that, and I'm going to find out a better workflow to film these for you. This is my second model kit video of me actually building something, and the third one's going to be even better. So I hope you guys enjoy, and I'll see you on the next video.